What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 2 of the Project Spice build, guys. And today Ronnie texted me. He says he has the thrust bearings in hand and everything, so now we can finally complete the bottom end. Yeah, so I'm super excited. Right now we're trying to see if we can finish the car by Toyota Fest, which is next Saturday. And if you guys see me out there, feel free to say hi and everything. I'm still gonna pull up regardless if my car's finished or not. I have a lot of my homies pulling up to see me and visit me stuff. They're coming from Washington and also San Francisco area, the Bay. And yeah, guys, let's not waste any more time. Let's go on in and see what Ronnie's doing today. And yeah, hey guys, we're back in the lab today. Say what's up, Ronnie, again.
What's going on?
What are we doing today, Ronnie? What are we doing?
So we finally got the thrust bearings in. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put the crankshaft in. Thrust bearings and crankshafts in. As you guys remembered last time, we clearanced the main bearings, rod bearings, everything's good to go. We do have the oil squirters already installed and ready to go. So once we do that, we're gonna apply silicone to the bed plate. We're gonna install it, torque it to spec, make sure there's enough thrust clearance, and then drop in the pistons and good to go.
Bottom end is done.
Tiny little thrust bearings.
These are little culprits right here.
Oil on both sides, the thrust side and the rear side, so it sticks to the block. And we're going to use the same assembly lube liberally as well. Make sure it sits for a couple weeks, days, whatever the case is. When you go to start it up, it has enough oil to sustain it for the startup. I've already gone ahead and cleaned the crankshaft, so that's all good to go. I've already
good shit
off as well. Everything's good. I always like to check the thrust bearings, make sure they're facing the right way. Then I do have a little trick.
What's your trick?
The crankshaft in without touching the studs. So
yeah, I was gonna ask, how do you throw the? How do you throw that in? Right?
This one's not that heavy.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a 3-cylinder.
Yeah.
But what I do is I grab it from the snout and I'll wrap a microfiber around the last rod journal.
Wow.
Pick it up like this. Again, do a sanity check on the thrust bearings. Everything looks good. So we go in. That's it.
Dang, easy money. So yeah, now we're applying the silicone.
Yep.
Sick.
Silicone in the manner that it tells you to. Another thing I like to do is actually install the rear main sill like this. So whenever this comes in, it just kind of makes a nice car, so we don't have to install it afterwards.
Yeah.
So we'll take a brand new OEM Toyota gasket set, as we do for
all builds.
every build. Grab the rear main sill out of it. Look at all the oil seals.
All brand new seals.
All brand new seals. Some of which we'll need, some of which we won't, but
better to be safe than sorry.
yeah, I mean, you don't have a choice. It kind of comes with
Yeah.
it. So what I like to do is just put a little bit of assembly lube there.
Massage it.
Massage it. Same thing here. It doesn't have to be a crazy amount. And we can just walk it on like so. This way you don't need a tool to install it either.
Yeah.
So, sometimes you have seals to help keep the oil there, but not on this side. So on the bottom of the girdle, you'll have seals. So. Looks good. So, make sure all the studs are in. Like I said, the studs don't have to be super tight in there.
Just hand tight, right?
Yeah. The same procedure as before. We're going to tighten up to 75 foot-pounds. Right after we do that, this part of the build is done, and then we just have to drop in the pistons and rods, and bottom end is complete.
Yep.
snugging it up. We're not gonna tighten it with a gun. Same procedure as last time, 25, 50, 75.
Yep. Ronnie has it down.
So what we're actually going to do is every time we do one sequence, we're going to turn the crank, make sure it's being dispensed freely.
Yeah.
Move on to the next. Like butter.
Like butter.
It would spin a lot more freely if I put oil, but we
Yeah.
have a sun lube on there, so it's more tacky.
Yeah.
You want to make sure it doesn't get tighter every time you do this. Actually, it's supposed to get smoother because when you look at the spec, the housing becomes completely round.
Oh, really? Easier.
One thing I am gonna do is because there's silicone, I am gonna put all the 8mm bolts in. I'm just gonna snug them. I'm not gonna torque them down.
So this kind of just sandwiches everything together, huh?
Correct.
That's awesome.
Inside out, osmosis.
Very interesting.
Just to keep it uniform. So the one side doesn't lodge. I mean, I get it on the main, like the actual main studs, but on these, I think it's not necessary to do it like this. But that's what it calls for, so that's what we do. Then look, moves nicely. Now on the piston itself, you can use oil, but you don't want to use assembly lube. It's too thick.
Too thick. And what does brake clean help? Like just clean it?
Yeah, just to clean the assembly lube that we use for the pin.
Oh, gotcha. Like cool how the oil squirters shoot upwards. I did not know that. Very interesting. Putting the rings on is cool.
This is a special assembly lube from Toyo Tires, which are the manufacturers of the piston rings that we use. So this is a special piston ring lube. So usually you wouldn't use assembly lube like I just said on piston rings, but this is specifically for piston rings.
That's awesome.
Specifically designed for that application. You never want to use your hands to walk these on, your fingers rather. So we use this ring plier because if you do, there's a chance you can bend the ring.
Yeah.
So, it out freely. That's number one. Two more.
The machine shop?
Machine shop, yeah, I mean they clean it, but
always be careful.
You want to go over and clean it again, yeah. You can't ever have too clean of an engine when you're assembling.
Exactly.
No such thing. Or powder rather.
Powder.
And I use them in all of our builds now. I incorporate it in there. If you take a look, once I don't know if they can see, but once you kind of rub it in, it turns into a green hue when it turns green.
Yeah.
That means the cylinder's clean and ready for assembly.
You can see it.
Another one of the things that we've learned over the years and incorporated in our
What's the benefit of that,
program.
I guess?
Helps the ring seat instantly.
Oh, wow.
So whenever you start it up, you don't need to
Wait.
have a ton of load on it. Well, you don't have to wait anymore with the new machine work that's available, because before, you know, you would have to bed in an engine for like 1,000 miles or 2,000 miles. You don't have to do that anymore, because before they wouldn't have proper stone, so you would have like peaks and valleys on the cylinders. So you would have like peaks and like deep like grooves. So now a lot of people plateau or diamond hone these engines. Our machine shop does the same thing, which knocks down all those peaks, so the rings don't have to do that.
Oh, wow.
So essentially, as soon as you start the car up, it starts seating. Boosted cars actually like load to seat the ring, so within 10 minutes we get the car on the dyno and
That's funny.
put load on the rings, and
Within 10 minutes.
that's how they seat. Yep. Now, this is a custom ring compressor. Not custom. This is an adjustable ring compressor. So I don't have the actual Toyota size, but if I did, say 86 millimeter, I wouldn't need a compressor. I could just put it in this and push it in. So this has a taper to it, so it presses on the rings, and it makes it easier to go in the cylinder. So we have to kind of do it manually with this old tool, which I'll show you in a second. We're gonna take number one.
It's good that you labeled everything too.
Well, that's why you do it, because some
Yeah.
rocks, you know.
Because remember last time we shared that like there could be some issues with that.
Oh, absolutely. You can't mismatch caps. They'll lock up. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put a little bit of that assembly lube.
We love lube.
This lube we do love, yes. And then what we're gonna do is I like to do a sanity check one more time. So I'll check over the ring orientation. Yep, everything looks good. I'm gonna put this in here. When I tighten this, what's gonna happen is it's gonna start compressing those rings. Once it's compressed, you can just push it in the cylinder.
Oh, it fits in, huh? Yeah.
Well, it'll fit any size. That's the cool thing about this one, the custom one.
That's awesome.
One thing you also want to make sure you do, and don't forget, is obviously assembly loop. Same thing on here. Otherwise, your first startup is going to be a dry start. Even though we do crank the engine over quite a few times before it starts, you still want to
Want to take extra precautions, yeah.
What I'm putting it in is as simple as just hitting it with the back of a hammer or any tool that has soft. That wasn't tight enough and one of the rings popped out. I don't like to do it super aggressively, because then what I'll have to see, like the ring popped out,
Yeah.
the bottom oil control ring, and it's not letting us like put it in. But if I go super tight, I'm always afraid that it's gonna like crack the ring or something.
Yeah. Always good to be safe, guys. For sure. Tighten as you need it.
Just like that.
First one in. Hell yeah.
So we're gonna do them one by one.
Mhm.
Gonna turn this around.
Oh, there it is. Everything's labeled on. It's really
Hold
good.
it so you don't put the wrong one on, because that would be a disaster. Same thing, it either wouldn't turn, or if it did, you would spin a bearing instantly as
Wow.
soon as you started the car up.
Crazy. We do not want that, guys. We do not.
If it's a lower compression piston, it'll have a dish.
Oh shit.
And then there are ones that just come out flat, and those are called flat tops.
And the dome still retains like the OEM like compression. Yeah, that's awesome.
Like that.
There we go.
I just have to check it was kind of offset. Yeah, just like that.
All the way down. Take a little look.
Oh, one thing to note, a lot of people freak out about this. If you look, the bearing doesn't have a tank. Usually there's a locating tank. That's all that's there for, guys. That's not to keep the bearing from spinning. That's a big myth. It's just there to locate the bearing, meaning, you know, so it's centered. However, Toyota in the repair manual tells you how much clearance you can have on each side to kind of have it at the center. That's all it's for, because as soon as you go and torque it down, that's what actually gives the bearing housing the crush. So when it's torqued down, the bearing's not going anywhere unless you have, you know, loss of lubrication or something. So that tank doesn't do anything as far as keeping the bearing from spinning. It's the actual housing that keeps that from happening. Do one even swing, you don't want to keep going back and forth. And then we'll notice that as we do this, it's going to get harder and harder to turn because we have more rings and everything to turn around. So, like on an EVA, at one point you can't grab the crank and turn it by hand, but on this one you might be able to.
Yeah. But yeah, we're 2/3 the way. Alright guys, the bottom end is officially complete. Look how amazing this is. All the pistons nicely seated. Shout out to Nitto. Damn guys, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Alright, that's a wrap on the bottom end, guys. Stay tuned for the next video. That's probably gonna be the head and everything else. But yeah guys,